super interesting back and forth occurred on Meet the Press with Republican Senator Ron Johnson and Chuck Todd about kind of the hypocrisy with Ron Johnson in obsessing over Hunter Biden's possible benefits he got, definite benefits he got because he had the last name Biden, the job, the financial situation he was put in because his last name was Biden. But Ron Johnson doesn't care at all about Jared Kushner benefiting a lot from the fact that his father-in-law was Trump. And it got pretty heated, and I love the way that Chuck Todd handled this. And then we'll look at Ron Johnson after this interview going on a long media kind of tour complaining about this interaction.
All right, Senator. It doesn't really look on the. It sounds sleazy, as you know.
I'll take you at your word that you're ethically bothered by Hunter Biden. I'm curious, though. You seem to have a pattern.
Are you not?
I seem to have a pattern. I'm a journalist. I have to deal in facts.
Are you not?
I deal in facts. It says, Senator, my question to you is, I'm always worried. I have skepticism of both parties. I sit here with skepticism of a lot of people's work. And I'm curious, were you at all concerned? Your Senate Democrats want to investigate Jared Kushner's loan from the Qatari government when he was working in the government negotiating many things in the Middle East. Are you not concerned about that? And I say that because it seems to me if you're concerned about what Hunter Biden did, you should be equally outraged about what Jared Kushner did.
I'm concerned about getting the truth. I don't target individuals.
You don't? You're targeting Hunter Biden multiple times on this show, Senator. You're targeting an individual.
Chuck, Chuck, part of the problem, and this is pretty obvious to anybody watching this, is
Chuck, let's be honest here. Don't bring up Jared Kushner. I don't focus on individuals, but let's talk about Hunter Biden.
You don't invite me on to interview me. You invite me on to argue with me. I'm just trying to lay out the facts that certainly Senator Grass and I uncovered. They were suppressed. They were censored. They interfered in the 2020 election. Conservatives understand that. Unfortunately, liberals in the media don't. And that's part of the things that part of the reasons our politics are inflamed is we do not have an unbiased media. We don't. It's unfortunate. I'm all for a free press. It needs to be more unbiased.
Senator,
there's misinformation on both sides, but the censorship and suppression
we're trying to do issues here in
from the left.
Partisan cable. Look, you can go back on your partisan cable cocoon and talk about media bias all you want. I understand it's part of your identity.
Go back to your partisan cable cocoon. Very true. Now, of course, I have an issue, lots of people have issues with any individual who has, whether it's a conflict of interest or is able to benefit, get positions that they wouldn't if it wasn't for someone that was powerful in their family or in their network. But that happens constantly. And so we ask so often, Republicans, why is it that you only care about Hunter Biden getting a job that he seemed unqualified for because his last name was Biden, but you haven't uncovered any actual evidence of some sort of coordination between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and something showing corruption within Joe Biden's actions, just the Hunter Biden getting that job he's unqualified for, but don't care about individuals like Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, Trump himself, benefiting directly, not their family member benefited from them being in the government. Them directly, they benefited from being in the government financially, business dealings, the Jared Kushner example brought up there, but so many countless examples of this type of conflict of interest behavior going on that Republicans don't ever talk about and don't care about. And Ron Johnson's answer is just completely, mumbling and bumbling, not actually giving a real answer. Well, he was very offended by this whole situation. How dare he get asked an actual question in an interview? And I have a few examples of him complaining about that interaction.
And so, like so many other leftists, they don't believe that there's any other viewpoint that's valid. So he just simply won't open his eyes to the truth.
And he's talking about Chuck Todd there.
And to the other viewpoint, he's not fair and balanced. He's not, apparently Fox News is the cocoon. Fox News is about as fair and as balanced as you can get. You present both sides. The
Fox News, notorious for their fair and balanced reporting indeed. Then here's another example. Just in the last couple of days, he's really caught up on this.
Believe that moment.
Well, it is pretty insulting. I don't recall another supposedly major news anchor insulting a U.S. Senator the way he, is happy to insult me time and time again. I mean, this was just...
Okay, and we'll get to one more example of this and then discuss a little bit. Take a look.
Chuck Todd didn't want to hear about that. And that's where he started interrupting me once again. Again, he doesn't call me on, invite me on his shows. And by the way, he hasn't invited me on his show for 2 years. Because we had a similar discussion, I guess we'll call it, 2 years ago after January 6th, where, again, he accused me of being an arsonist. I said, no, Chuck, you lit the fire. It's a biased media that certainly conservatives understand.
Okay, we'll stop it there. So going network to network, right-wing outlet after right-wing outlet to be consoled about that moment. And beyond what that represents about him, what that represents about the liberal mainstream media that he's criticizing is actually so fascinating. And it's a huge negative towards the liberal mainstream media. Why is he so off-put? Why is he so offended, insulted by that interaction? Because it's not common enough on liberal mainstream media. Because being challenged like that is offensive to him. He's used to more softball interviews. And so that very much shocked him. And that's bad. It should be very common on all networks in every interview that if you're going to not answer the question or be dishonest in your answer, the interviewer is going to challenge you. But because there's a situation where if one network did that, all the politicians would know that that's the hard network to be interviewed by and they wouldn't go on it, a lot of networks choose to prioritize their access to these politicians over hard-hitting interviews. And so the only way you would effectively make that change where networks aren't worried about that is if every single one in unison did it so that politicians know, if I want to get my face out to anybody, I'm going to have to just be ready to be challenged. But that's not the world we live in now. It's getting better. I've noticed the Trump era kind of snapped a lot of these liberal mainstream media outlets into better interviews and more aggressive in their follow-up questions and challenges, and that's good. But just setting aside conservative mainstream media, because they'll, of course, just fully run propaganda for the right, liberal mainstream media, while they have their biases, of course, 100%, that's why I'm labeling them as that, they do make more of an effort to be less biased and to challenge both sides equally. And what that ends up doing is just making it to where everyone gets really softball interviews and Republicans aren't overly challenged. But if Republicans are the ones coming on being more dishonest, you should be challenging them. And if a Democrat is dishonest, challenge them as well. Because too often interviewers like Chuck Todd will ask a question to someone like Ron Johnson, hey, why are you being so hypocritical about Hunter Biden versus all these other individuals with huge conflicts of interest? Ron Johnson will say, listen, Chuck, I believe in freedom and a pursuit of prosperity in America. Thank you. And Chuck Todd will move on. And that's just not how an interview should go. And so right there, Ron Johnson's offended because Chuck Todd did the right thing. And that was very fun to see. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.